Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw NEWSPLEX. And we got a lot to cover from the weekend. Oh, boy, lots of Impact Wrestling news going on here,
Yes,
Larson.
so let's not
Hot
do
fire.
none of the plugs, straight to the news.
Hot
so,
fire.
on Friday,
Hot fire.
we had the Ring of Honor 15th anniversary show where
Which we're going to cover in a separate video.
very soon, where the Hardys successfully retained their Ring of Honor tag team titles against Roppongi Vice and the Young Bucks.
Correct.
And shortly after the show, news started trickling out online about some potential beef, some issues, some tension between the Hardys and Impact Wrestling regarding the use of the Broken Universe.
This is finally coming to fruition. We were sort of expecting something like this, but nothing this sort of out in the open and so
we talked about it on Dirt Sheet with Matt Hardy filing a trademark for the trademark the name Broken Matt Hardy. We were thinking, okay, maybe that was to start forcing Impact Wrestling's hand. Seems like that might be the case because Saturday, Pro Wrestling Sheet issued a report confirming that Impact Wrestling did send out cease and desist letters, but to outlets, pay-per-view outlets carrying the Ring of Honor show. And that this decision to issue those letters was made by Impact and Anthem executives and not Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, can't blame him for this.
Can't blame Slapnuts for this one.
No, and according to 411mania.com, Dish Network apparently pulled the Ring of Honor show after receiving the letter.
No good.
No.
I watched it on Fight TV app.
As did I.
Which I can fully endorse. That fucking thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Crystal clear HD.
Looks good.
And it like works like a fucking charm. Especially if you have Chromecast. Oh my god, it works brilliant.
I'm going to try that next time. I had to watch it on my iPad.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So, and then some more details from the Pro Wrestling Sheet report. Their Impact Wrestling sources say, quote, Anthem isn't trying to recreate the characters without the brothers. They're not trying to do a fake Razor Ramon or fake Diesel
come on.
thing.
I want to see a broken EC3, broken Bobby Lashley.
And they don't want to force Matt and Jeff to no longer use them either. They want to work out an agreement for the Broken Universe IP, one that gives Anthem a cut of future proceeds.
Just taking care of their due diligence in terms of the business world, making sure that they can profit on those creations.
Yes. So in reaction to, I would guess, the cease and desist letter, as well as a flurry of Twitter activity from a bunch of people, a lot of newsworthy tweets happened over the weekend.
Oh, man, Revy Sky went off.
Well, let's start with Ed Nordholm, who is an Anthem executive, and I think he runs the day-to-day of Impact Wrestling. He issued two tweets that I think kind of set Revy off. First one, quote, we thank Matt Hardy Brand for a superb performance in Broken Universe. May the seven deities guide with their broken brilliance left behind. Second, Broken Universe will always be here. Kudos to the creative team behind the vision, Jeremy Borash, I don't know who the other people are, and then Billy Corgan.
Okay, yeah.
Not to diminish the contributions of the other people, I also don't know who they are. So it's interesting that essentially what he's kind of saying is, we own the Broken Universe.
Yeah.
These are the people responsible for it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt Hardy, for your performance in the universe.
Yeah. This reminds me of like when the Dukes of Hazzard were going through contract negotiations with Bo and Luke, and they brought in Vance and Coy.
Yeah.
It's like, granted, Hazard County still may belong to the network, but the magic in Hazard County
is all Bo and Luke.
It's all Bo and Luke, man. You can't do Hazard County. You can't do the Dukes of Hazzard without Bo and Luke.
So this set off Revy Sky. She went a multiple prolonged rant against TNA. Steve, would you like to give us a sampling of some Revy tweets?
Yeah. Okay, well, for one thing, in response to TNA's logo, she says, fuck that owl, which has turned into a meme into itself because there's like one fan who posted a picture of her and Broken Matt Hardy, and she has a sign that says F that owl, and he's doing the Broken Matt Hardy thing.
Yeah.
Somebody else, I think, posted a T-shirt idea that just says, fuck that owl. So she retweeted or she screenshotted some commentary from Pro Wrestling Net that discusses it, and it says the big question they need to ask themselves is whether it's really worth it. Impact Wrestling can't profit from the Broken Universe in any meaningful way going forward. In fact, one could argue they would actually stand to make more money if they allowed the Hardy family to use the gimmick outside the company, as DVD sales of what the brothers did while working for TNA would surely become more profitable if the act made its way to WWE, which is a great point.
Yes.
You could sell a DVD of the entire, Final Deletion, Tag Team Apocalypto, all that stuff, with like commentary from Borash, all that kind of stuff.
Behind the scenes documentaries,
exactly,
stuff like that.
Because that's all fascinating. So I would actually love to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you kept the Hardys in your good grace, granted they probably couldn't do it while they're in the WWE, but to get some commentary from them would probably be really cool too.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like just on the surface, it's just selling like DVDs of that stuff. If they were able to expand the universe to other places, this is where it started. This is the genesis.
Yes.
And it could be argued it's never going to get better than this.
Yeah.
You know, than the way it started.
Yes.
But yeah, she went off. She said, who's going to want to work with you guys now? Who is going to want to work with you now? I mean, with the exception of Global, is it GFW, Global Force Wrestling?
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett's company. With the exception of GFW guys coming to Impact tapings for $20 towards Greyhound fare, TNA would rather destroy business relationships with Ring of Honor and cable providers for the sake of trying to fuck the Hardys. Think about that. And it's got a Bill Nye mind explosion GIF under it.
Yeah.
Don't ever want to hear anyone talk about burning bridges when this move, which fucks Ring of Honor and cable providers, leaves the most ashes behind. She says, irony
There's
is,
a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot here.
WrestleZone on Saturday issued a report referencing an appearance by Stevie Richards on the Two-Man Power Trip podcast, where he was interviewed and he was asked about who was kind of the creative driving force behind the Broken Universe. This is what he had to say. Quote, in general, and since this is a wrestling interview, there are so many people that make WWE and even people crap on TNA, but there are so many people behind the scenes of those companies, and sometimes only one person, like Jeremy Borash. He pretty much creatively put the whole final deletion and everything else together. That is crazy that he is the creative force behind probably the most popular thing that we've seen in wrestling in years.
Which is one way of looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that Jeremy Borash was a huge part. I mean, I believe Matt Hardy has said that he was a huge part of putting the whole Broken Universe together, but I guess there's varying ways to look at it. For example, I don't know if this is the case, but say the genesis of the idea was Matt Hardy. He said, I have this idea for the storyline. Took it to Jeremy Borash and said, help me make this happen.
Well,
visually.
To a degree, it sounds like a band and a producer.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's, depending on what department you're in, there's various or differing verbiage in the contract. Since Jeremy Borash is the creative, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something in there that explicitly states anything you create for TNA Impact belongs to us.
Yeah.
Since he's a creative, he works in the creative department.
Yeah.
Or does now. I don't know if he did at the time. Whereas Matt Hardy, since he's a performer, didn't have that clause in his contract. So that might be why Matt Hardy's under the impression that, okay, Broken Matt Hardy belongs to me. And Impact could be under the impression, nope, Broken Universe belongs to us.
Yeah.
So
this is kind of interesting too. Rebby retweeted this fan who allegedly, according to this screenshot here, got blocked by Impact Wrestling's Twitter site. And the fan was named Rage the Lunatic. Said, what happens when you were a fan of Impact Wrestling 14 years and give honest, respectful feedback to the anthem of owl sports? Hashtag delete. So if it's true that Impact is going around like blocking their own fans for calling them out on this stuff, that's not good social media. They don't know how to do social media very good.
No.
I mean, there's actually a proper way to go about this in terms of how to respond to fans. But this is not
No.
it. So
No.
yeah.
No, it's not.
Delete.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens the next few days. I guess we have less than a month now between now and Mania, WrestleMania. The odds of the Hardys showing up at Mania are probably pretty small, especially with all this legal business needing to be worked out before they can probably show up at WWE.
I would imagine so, yeah.
You know, because I don't think WWE wants to have all these potential legal issues in play.
Well, I would think, yeah, it would all depend. I think it would solely depend on, once their lawyers take a look at it. I'm sure they're probably, getting calls from Vince at 2 o'clock in the morning about this if need be. Once they take a look at it, if the lawyers say, I would imagine it's fairly cut and dry in terms of whether they should proceed or not, because if they look at it and say they have no case here, then it's on.
Yeah.
If they look at it and say we need to step back for a second, then it would be off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be, in terms of them showing up at Mania, that would be cut and dry. In terms of them showing up anytime soon, it'd be pretty cut and dry. Either they're going to show up at Mania or at Raw the next night, or this is going to be a protracted legal thing.
And ideally, I would hope that Impact and Hardys will be able to come to an agreement where the Hardys can use the characters as portrayed in Impact and TNA, and then TNA can reserve the right to profit off the work the Hardys did while in the company, on an ongoing basis, like you mentioned, selling DVDs, and stuff like that.
I mean, they did make money for Impact doing that.
Oh yeah, you could argue they kept them afloat.
Yeah. So we also have Raw tonight.
Yes, we do.
Is Finn gonna show up?
Well, hold on, Steve.
Is Finn gonna show up?
There's a spoiler alert here for that because I don't want people to I don't want to ruin a surprise for anybody.
Oh.
So let's get through the official WWE.com preview first.
Okay.
Man, you got way ahead of yourself. So
Enzo and Cass are going to battle Cesaro and Sheamus to determine the new #1 contender for the Raw tag titles.
Yeah, Raw GM Mick Foley made this match last week on Raw.
I have $23 in my wallet. I will bet you all of that this ends in a scrub.
Yep.
That there will be no new #1 contender.
Dusty finish.
Dusty finish, baby.
And then WWE.com is teasing more for the Roman Reigns Undertaker match that's going to happen at WrestleMania 33, confirmed today by the WWE.
I got an alert. They alerted me to that. Ruined my coffee.
A match basically no one wants to see.
Yes, correct.
And then spoiler alert.
Yeah.
If you don't want a potential surprise ruined, stop watching the video right now. Even though Steve already kind of ruined it. According to PW Insider, they're reporting that Finn Balor is backstage.
Too sweet for Finn
Raw
Balor
today.
Too sweet.
But there's no guarantee that he will appear on the show. He could just be hanging out backstage.
Muy delicioso técnico.
Okay.
Too sweet. Dos. I don't know what sweet is in Spanish. Maybe somebody can figure that one out for me in the comments. Yeah, no guarantees. What are the odds that he's actually going to show up tonight?
50-50, but it's a near certainty that he's going to get in the program with Samoa Joe based on the pictures of the house show matches he was in over the weekend.
Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor at Mania?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then he's showing up tonight. They have no time to spare.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, fucking 10 minutes before Mania starts,
practically.
Basically. Oh my God, we have we're gonna have to travel to Orlando.
In 3 weeks.
Oh, dear.
3 weeks from yesterday is Mania Sunday.
Anyways, we got Ring of Honor coming up
later today.
Yeah,
sure.
And then we got New Japan going up
first thing tomorrow morning.
First thing in the morning. And then, of course, we got a Raw recap tomorrow evening.
Got a lot to do.
Oh, and WCW on tonight.
Yeah, back.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It's back.
So much. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.